They say you only get as much out of life as you put into it. And in the sport of auto racing, the best drivers are the ones that work on their race cars. Currently, one of the greatest examples of this in open-wheel modified racing is Jon McKennedy. He's a man of few words, is drama-free, and is reliable. He hails from Chelmsford, Massachusetts, and if you're a local, then he's from Kempsford, but you can argue that he's from the Granite state of New Hampshire after having the most amount of success in his career there. They say Superman was the man of steel, but with the amount of dominance McKennedy has in the Granite state, and how his personality is so similar to Granite itself, he should be called the man of Granite. His journey behind the wheel began in 1997 at the age of 9 with Tiger Sprints, and eventually graduating to karts where he won multiple championships. After having a successful karting career, he moved up to much bigger and faster race cars like mini sprints and stock cars, but he really made his mark racing 350 Super Mods and Tour-type modifieds at Hudson and Star Speedways. He got aboard a Tour-type modified in 2006 on the NASCAR Modified Tour and True Value Modified Racing Series. He ran about half the season's races on the Modified Racing Series schedule in 2006 and again in 2007. Then, after just 12 total starts, he would get his first career Tour-type modified victory, which came at the Canaan Fair Speedway in New Hampshire. He took the lead with 49 laps to go and was able to hold off the veteran Les Hinckley to get the win. Little did anyone know that this would be the start of a career filled with winning. In 2008, McKennedy won a couple races in New Hampshire on the VMRS Tour. But in 2009, McKennedy would be on top of the world in the series as he was able to win 3 races. They came at Claremont, Oxford Plains, and the Beech Ridge Speedway. He was on fire and had an average finishing position of 8.07, ultimately allowing him and his family-owned team to raise the championship trophy at season's end. This was just the first of many titles for McKennedy. He stated, "The championship means a lot. And hopefully this opens up some doors for opportunities in the future." After a season that was so dominant, which consisted of 4 wins, 10 top 10s, and an average finish of 8.04, you think it would be near impossible to replicate, but you'd be wrong. So in 2010, McKennedy felt that those stats were so nice that he just had to do it twice, and he rattled off 4 more victories, which included the Waterford Wings and Wheels event, and had an average finish of 8.37 with 10 top 5s and 13 top 10s. This culminated in the 73 team becoming the 2010 Series champions and the second driver to win back-to-back championships in Modified Racing Series history. Once the season ended, McKennedy was able to team up with legendary car owner Art Berry. This would allow McKennedy to have a break from financing the entire race team, and he would make the switch from his traditional Raceworks modified chassis to the updated Spafco race cars chassis. Many wondered how his alliance with Art Berry would be, but nobody was expecting that his 2012 season was going to go the way it did. McKennedy kicked off the season with a win in the Waterford Speedbowls Blast Off 100, holding off a hard-charging Rowan Penning, and was able to go back-to-back and win the second race of the season at the Monadnock Speedway. After getting a win at the safety valve that racetracks in the Granite state of New Hampshire has come to him, McKennedy was able to get his first victory at the Stafford Speedway in the late summer and really help himself secure another title. At season's end, he was able to hoist his 3rd championship trophy after achieving 3 victories, 12 top 5s, 14 top 10s, and an unbelievable average finish of 4.6. An average finishing position of 4.6, with this level of competition, was basically video game numbers. Art Berry even stated, "It is priceless. He is just one good driver. We started out not knowing what we were going to do, and it worked so good. The chemistry was just perfect, and I am really proud of him. It is an honor to win this championship." Through all of this, Jon kept up his Granite-like personality. He was very low-key in interviews, acting as if that was just a satisfactory result rather than achieving something huge. The combination of McKennedy and Berry seemed to be perfect, and Art Berry became the first owner to win championships in both the NASCAR Modified Tour and the VMRS Series. It seemed like they could be the next juggernaut in modified racing. However, for 2013, McKennedy had his eyes on another type of racing series and didn't want his racing portfolio to stop at just modifieds. McKennedy won the title in all 3 full-time seasons he raced on the MRS Tour, but now he had his eyes on the ISMA Super Modified Championship. He stated that the Supers are something I've always liked. I spent a few years in the modifieds, and now I got a good opportunity with the Super. It is time to do something different. Additionally, McKennedy went on to say that his plan is to run the Super full-time while running the MRS with Art on the off weeks. In addition, he wanted to run a few of the NASCAR Modified Tour races and was hopeful that something would come up. To start off, he won 2 big races in 2013, the Wings and Wheels event and the Star Classic in New Hampshire. He would win the ISMA Championship in 2017, which we'll get to, and has 27 wins in the 115 total races he competed in. From 2018 to 2021, he had a winning streak of 11 straight victories. Currently, he is a 5-time Star Classic winner, a 4-time Ollie Silva Memorial winner, and has won the Super Modified portion of the North-South Shootout, which has returned to the event card. In 2014, his tour-type modified focus would be on races with higher payouts since he was back in his family-owned car, and he would win the SBM 125 race at the Star Speedway in Epping, New Hampshire. The race was a war at the end between Rowan Penning, Les Hinckley, and himself. He got into second and was making constant attempts to pass for the lead until the caution flag flew with 2 laps remaining. On the final restart, he made the pass on the outside lane to get the victory and the big payday. This was one of the first Monaco Modified Series races. A racing series that McKennedy would be the champion of in 2014 with 1 win and 2 seconds in the 3-race season. After a few seasons of part-time modified racing, McKennedy would return to full-time racing in the Modified Racing Series in 2016 and would set even more records. Now, if you thought the 2012 season was godlike, then his 2016 season would give that a new definition. McKennedy was able to capture 11 victories during the season, which became a series record, and had 16 top 5s in the 19-race season. In addition, he had an average finish of 2.76, which is near robot status. Jon's greatest win was when he passed Stafford Speedway's king, TC Ted Christopher, by taking the lead with only 2 laps remaining. During the race, Jon Spence mentioned that Dick Berggren, a legendary NASCAR reporter for Fox Sports Television, stated that McKennedy was one of the best short track drivers in the country, and McKennedy proved that throughout the season. He was on top, looking towards bigger and better things for 2017. When the 2016 season was over, McKennedy said, "I spent nearly every night in the shop. I tried as hard as I could to get a deal with a team down south or with a NASCAR Tour team by sending letters and making phone calls to teams and owners, but nothing came together. Nobody signing me began to mess with my heart, but I pulled the team together, and they took over 2016. He went on to win the 2017 ISMA Super Modified Championship after a win at Jennerstown and surviving a tight points battle at the finale. When asked about winning the title, he said, "Oh, it's great. It's something I have wanted for a long time, and to have no issues and to have it all work out is just great. We came so close a few years ago and had it taken away with an engine expiring." While he was winning the 2017 Supermod title, he went back to part-time open modified racing and was able to win a special modified touring series race at Stafford, where he passed Ryan Preece with 4 laps to go. Then he won on the series return in September, giving him a clean sweep of the season's races at Stafford. In the short MTS season, he won 2 races and finished no worse than 5th in all the races that season, leading to an average finish of an amazing 2.5. He proved his family-owned Raceworks chassis could compete with all the big-name chassis manufacturers like Troyer and Fury, and had the experience to be picked up by a big team on the NASCAR Tour for 2018. He just needed someone to call him, and it happened. During the winter of 2018, he mentioned that he was working his regular day job outside of racing when a North Carolina number appeared on his phone. Tommy Baldwin was the caller, and while Jon was hauling gravel in a triaxle, Baldwin stated, "I want to run you at New Smyrna, and if you do well, the ride is yours." With his audition set for Speed Weeks in New Smyrna, it was a huge opportunity for him, and he needed to perform. On the first night of racing, McKennedy and Baldwin shut out the field by winning the pole and the race. Needless to say, a new team and relationship was born on the NASCAR Modified Tour for the 2018 season. McKennedy expressed his appreciation for the ride and said, "I am very excited for the opportunity that Tommy is giving me. And I'm a firm believer in people needing an opportunity, and to get one you need to be in the right place at the right time." While he was still down south, his team decided to participate in some Southern Modified Series races. At Caraway, McKennedy would lead from flag to flag and win. The McKennedy and Baldwin duo was showing lots of promise, and McKennedy was taking full advantage of his first big opportunity with Baldwin. This sent a buzz throughout the modified scene, and everyone was wondering how they do at the first NASCAR Modified Tour race of the season at the Myrtle Beach Speedway. It turned out well for him, as McKennedy passed Chase Dowling late in the race and would capture the win for the newly formed Baldwin and McKennedy alliance. With the win, everyone thought that this duo would become the biggest threat to stopping Doug Coby's dominance on the tour. In victory lane after winning his first ever NASCAR Tour race, Jon said, "I feel like this is way overdue. Over the years, I was never really able to put 100% effort into the tour. When Tommy called me, I just knew it was going to be a great deal. I've won races from Florida to Canada. It feels good to finally get the monkey off my back." However, at the Thompson Icebreaker, McKennedy was leading and on his way to victory lane until the caution came out. When the field was about to restart with 3 laps to go, his car ran out of gas and ended up finishing 20th. McKennedy stated, "We were trying to save a little bit of weight and just didn't quite fill it up on purpose before the race. It's just a tough way to lose one." And unfortunately for his team, the season would be filled with bad luck. Mainly equipment issues and other small things derailed his team from success. However, they were able to end the season on a high note and hold off a late race surge from Matt Hirschman to win the special North-South shootout at the Concord Speedway in North Carolina. McKennedy said, "My best chance to get the lead was on that restart, and it worked out." This was the first win at the event for both Baldwin and McKennedy. On the super modified side for 2018, McKennedy found more success as he won another Star Classic for car owners Pam and Lee Vinyl, and was happy he was able to win in memory of Big Bob Weber Sr., whom was a big part of Jon's racing growing up. In victory lane, Jon said, "He took me under his wing and was always awesome to me. I was very sad when he passed earlier this year. It's just great to win here tonight. He was riding with me, and it made an awesome race." In 2019, McKennedy continued to have success in the super mods. He won another Ollie Sylvia Memorial at Lee, but the biggest win of the season was at the finale, where he won for his biggest fan and best friend, his father, whom passed away shortly before the Thompson World Series weekend, and the finale race was also the final race for his car owners of the 21, as they would retire from racing. In victory lane, he was emotional and said, "I have a lot of emotions for sure. But Dad was riding with me today, and I was glad to get this win. It feels great." Back on the NASCAR side, his team only ran a few races after a rough start, but they ended the season with 4 straight top 5 finishes and led in all but one of them, and they almost won the biggest race of the year, the Musket 250 at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway, but lost the lead with 2 laps to go. The team was looking for resurgence in 2020, and they were able to get some. He came close multiple times, however he still was only able to be second best and not capture that second NASCAR victory, even after being a consistent frontrunner. He ended the season with 4 top 5s and 9 top 10s in the pandemic-shortened and 9-race season. For 2021, McKennedy decided to race for 2 teams, Baldwin's number 7 on the NASCAR Tour, and the new Tim and Cheryl Lepine number 79 Middlesex Interiors Modified in the Open Modified events. The 79 team proved to be successful, and he was able to get his new car owner his first ever victory in the Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series. It came in the prelude to the SBM 125 race at the Star Speedway. He had to come from deep in the field after an issue in his heat race, but at his home race track he found his way to the head of the class. He said, "It feels so great to get a modified win here at Star Speedway again. Great to be back home at Star." He was very competitive at all the races in NASCAR and in the open events, and had great stats, but could never break through and win a bunch of races. The biggest heartbreaker was the 2021 Thompson 300, and if you know me personally, you know how much the end of this race lives rent-free in my head. The 79 team was a threat to win Thompson all season, but at the 300 they dominated and led the most laps. However, Keith Rocco spun himself to get a caution and put on fresh tires and was able to go at it with Jon for the win. The fresh tires prevailed and McKennedy had some mechanical issue after losing the lead with 9 laps to go, but his post-race quote says it all. "Thanks to everyone that put this race on, but going forward if you draw an intentional yellow, it should be a 1-lap penalty." Rocco and a few others the last 30 laps were spinning themselves out and putting tires on. That's just fucking bullshit. Shame on them. He won, great job. He should have won. He's on 30-lap tires. He spun himself out with 30 laps to go with only 9 cars on the lead lap. Should have been a penalty. He's been racing here since he was a baby and never left the state of Connecticut. You don't just spin out on your own. It was a tough loss, but the team still put a fast car in the trailer. They just needed their luck to turn around. For 2022, things would finally turn around for Jon. He went full-time on the NASCAR Tour with the Lepine team and was able to finally get back to victory lane at none other than one of his bread-and-butter racetracks of Claremont Speedway in New Hampshire. The victory was huge for him and his team in their hopes of winning the championship. They may not have won many races, but the man of Granite consistently chipped away at the point lead and rattled off top 5 and top 10 finishes for the second half of the season. He stayed out of trouble and the spotlight as they entered the finale at Martinsville. Entering the finale, the top 4 drivers were separated by 17 points and all had mathematical chances to win the title. McKennedy had the lead with less than 20 laps to go and was on his way to an easy win and the championship, but the caution came out and Corey LaJoie decided to not respect the drivers around him racing for the title and spun McKennedy around. It looked like the title was lost, but the team pulled together and was able to finish the race and won the championship by only 6 points. The champagne would fly, and the quiet and serious McKennedy would finally be able to show some emotions and smiles with the champion's trophy. It took forever, but McKennedy finally won that NASCAR championship ring. As he stood there in victory lane, he reflected on his career and said, "This is the icing on the cake for me and all the guys that have been behind me for most of my racing career. I want to say I really wish my dad was here. I know he's looking down. My dad was a huge supporter of my racing going back in the late 90s when we started off in those little racing karts. He said never give up. My dad was always a believer that effort equals success." In 2023, McKennedy would continue racing for the Lepine team and was able to win the Northeast Classic at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. They were a great duo in supermods and modifieds, but all good things must come to an end. And after a Stafford Open modified race, the two would quietly part ways. The Cinderella story was over, and Jon wouldn't race mods until 2024. Nobody knows the reason for the breakup, but McKennedy would restart his own racing operation for 2024. While he was back as the boss and driving for his own team, he was just as competitive as ever. He stated, he is excited to get the ball rolling in our Fury race cars and go chase some trophies. I feel this is a great opportunity for me to go out there and continue to show we can win races. We did have some other opportunities for rides, but felt this was the best route for this season. And in hindsight, this was a great decision. He dominated the MRS event at the Lee USA Speedway and won in the summer. Then, he was picked up by Otto Sitterly to drive a big block super, and it was bad news for the rest of the field. He won 3 races and had an average finish of 3.3 and won his 5th Star Classic. But his greatest feat would come in the fall. After finishing in 2nd place, in what felt like every tour-type modified event at the Thompson Speedway, he would find his way to victory lane in the inaugural Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series event during the World Series. He said, "I think I've had 11 seconds in tour-type modified events here. We've always run so good here, just never could close the deal until tonight. This is a big win." After getting that monkey off his back, the 2025 season was about to be big. In his return to Thompson, he won 3 of the 4 Outlaw Open modified races throughout the season and even won in a super modified on World Series weekend, and was able to win another 5 big block modified events in 2025. But what set this season apart from all the others is how he won the 2025 Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series Championship. He won the title without winning a race, and instead won by being so consistent. He had a bit of a rivalry going on towards the end of the season, but he stayed in control and won the title. McKennedy stated that, "It's been a very emotional year. I think we won 6 or 7 modified races throughout 3 different touring series. A handful of super modified races. But we also have a few that got away from us. But big picture is that we won the championship." Today, Jon McKennedy stands alone as the only driver to win a NASCAR Tour, Modified Racing Series, Monaco Modified Tri-Track Series, and International Super Modified Championship. He uses the knowledge he has to work on his car to get the most out of it, and never lets his emotions get in the way of the big picture. He is one of the most calculated drivers in racing, and even if he never gets a shot down south, he has proved his home is around the Granite State. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite moment is in Jon McKennedy's career. While you're at it, here are some more videos to pass the time.